They're remembered now, but for years these veterans were almost forgotten. As women, their role in the war always came second to men.
I was in communication with the troops as they were landing on the beaches of Normandy.
On duty on D-Day, Mari Scott was working the switchboard in Fort Southwick on the English coast as the liberation of Europe from the Nazis began in 1944.
I heard sounds that I never thought I would ever hear. The sounds of war, gunfire of every description, machine gun, cannon, bombs, men shouting, orders being barked out, men screaming. It was the chaos of war. And at first I was terrified. I thought, I don't think I can do this. I was 17.
What was going through your mind when you heard D-Day happening?
I was so concerned with getting everything through correctly. I knew what was happening. It made such an impression upon my mind that if I were to think about it carefully, I'd hear those sounds now. I think I just grew up that day. I really do. I grew up on D-Day.
Mildred Schutz' involvement is much more secret. Working for special operations, she was sent to war in Italy, but was told she couldn't carry a gun.
Because the women were not armed, according to international law, and also we had a naval commander, and he said a woman with a gun is more trouble than she's worth. Well, I think we've proved he was wrong.
This afternoon, these veterans were driven by the taxi charity to the RAF club on Piccadilly and given a reception of honour ahead of International Women's Day. Do you think the role of women in the war is forgotten?
It's certainly the men who always get a lot more mention, but probably the men did do a great deal more. But we did as much as we possibly could. And I think that gave us a lot more confidence after the war.
We suddenly realized we were capable of doing more complex things. I think it was the beginning of women's liberation.
Their wartime involvement was recognised at the time, although with some objectivity. Now women fight alongside men on the front line, and it's thanks to the female veterans of World War II who also served. Rex Martel, ITV News.